Previously on Back of the Bus podcast. Last season, we did a podcast. We didn't know where it was going to go. And I'm going to tell you, after 500 listeners, we still don't know where it's going to go. But welcome back to season 2.
980 something.
Oh, see, I don't really...
Downloads. I don't know about individual listeners.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So maybe it was just one weirdo who listened to us 900 times?
That would be awesome.
That would be great.
Love you, whoever you are.
That one listener. Welcome to season 2 of Back of the Bus podcast. We are here back in the newly refurbished studio. There are hurricane windows. That's what I'm saying, man. Yeah. I'm saying there are hurricane windows on the window instead of the old windows. It's great. So there's new furniture in here. You know, it's been great. We've been on a hiatus for a little bit. It's cool. It's summer break. You know, we had to take a break. We had to go do some things. And to catch you up on the rundown of what happened while we were out, here's Black.
So we're not going to, I'm Black, he's half, none of that other shit.
Yeah. Welcome to season 2 of the Back of the Bus podcast. I'm half, he's Black. We are your ever-loving friends in the podcast arena. Remember, if you're listening to us, thank you for listening to us, but tell all your friends about us. They can listen to us on Google Podcasts. It's a new app now. It's not Google Play anymore. It's Google Podcasts.
Nice.
Apple Podcast, Pocket Bean, Pocket Cast.
Podbean.
Also. Yeah, also. Anywhere you guys find your pockets and your podcasts. Well, that's a true statement, though, right? Because if they're going to listen to a podcast, they're going to listen to it on their phone, and their phones are?
In their pockets.
In their pockets.
There you go. That
Duh.
Works.
There we go. So, welcome to season 2. A lot of things have changed, but basically they haven't. We ended season 1. Our season 1 finale was a great show, our most listened to show since we started. It had our buddy Mike, or as we like to call him, Nika Mike, not the G, Nika. We're not that kind of show. And he ended our show, and we had probably 700 listeners to that show. It was great. It was the most listened to show in all of
podcasting history.
However, Black was really sad because about a week after the show went live, he was checking our Instagram, and he noticed that we had lost a follower.
Well, we didn't lose a follower. What happened was we lost somebody we were following.
Oh, she stopped following us.
No, we were following her,
and then she blocked us.
And she blocked us.
Even better. That means you have to purposefully go in there
and
take us off.
She took the time to block us.
And who is this she?
Maddie O'Reilly.
I wonder why she would block us.
I can't imagine. Why she'd do such a thing.
I don't know why she would block. Is there something that we may have said?
I mean, she was even in our Hot Girl tournament.
Yeah, which, by the way, oh man, if you want to get Black really angry about something, him and his other friends,
including Mike,
created a tournament of Instagram's most beautiful women, right?
Yes.
There were 4 categories. There was the adult film star, there was the Instagram model, there was the
Instagram fitness girl, Instagram famous,
Instagram model, and
then the celebrity,
the regular celebrities. So we created this whole bracket, 64 young ladies, and each young lady had a correlating team that was actually inside the NCAA bracket, right? And whenever one team would move on, that young lady would move on, right? So in the beginning, when we first started showing it out on Instagram, on our Instagram page, we would tag the Barstool University Sports of whatever team that person was. So, for example, Maddie O'Reilly, we tagged her and we tagged the university that she was representing, right?
Yeah.
And it kept moving on and on and on. About week 3, Barstool Sports creates a Hot Girls of Instagram tournament and puts it out.
Yeah, that shit pissed me off.
I'm not going to say that they stole our idea.
They stole my fucking idea.
But they stole his idea.
Yeah. And the crazy thing was that, obviously, we're a startup, right? We're trying to get our name out there. And instead of throwing some,
love,
throw us a bone, they say, these guys had a great idea. Let's pilfer it.
Yeah.
I even tried, before we even talked about this, I went back to see if they'd done anything similar in years past. If they did, I apologize, but I could not find it.
So clearly we are now in a blood feud with Barstool Sports.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
100%.
Those guys.
Incidentally, Jennifer Lawrence won.
Yes, Jennifer Lawrence won the Hot Girls of Instagram contest.
And further incidentally, she doesn't have her own Instagram.
Oh, no?
No.
I just dropped the mic. We're getting back into the saddle, guys. It's,
yeah,
you know,
it's going to take us a while to get.
Oh, God. Oh, there it is. Oh, there we go. He hates when I when I do this.
So J-Law did not have an Instagram, but she had it. There were like sufficient hashtags, and she had a sufficient hashtag following just on her name that we decided that she could get a seating.
Okay.
And she was seated to whatever fucking school it was that won the tournament.
I don't even remember.
Villanova, or maybe?
I think maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, whoever. But
I don't care.
They killed it, and she won.
Good.
Defeating some very notable ladies along the way, including my favorite, which is Marine Semez.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know who half of those people were.
Yeah, I mean neither. And then we found her on Instagram, and she's got to be the hottest woman on the planet.
I mean,
right now.
maybe. I just don't like you.
I'll post her when I post the stuff for this show, so you guys can see who I'm talking about. She's
like when you guys put this up, and then you sent me all of these Instagram handles, and I'm like, I don't know who any of these people are.
Yeah, I mean, I follow most of them on our page, dude.
Yeah, so that I always have to be careful which Instagram I'm opening up around whom I'm opening it up around.
Yeah.
Because if the last thing I saw was like our page and I was on our page, there's a likely chance that I open it up and it's just some woman in a thong.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I don't need that in my life right now.
See, that's what happens with newlyweds.
No.
Newlyweds. You haven't developed. In about 4 years, the apathy will kick in and she won't give a shit.
The apathy, hopefully. But I'm just gonna say.
Speaking of. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So, one of the reasons why we've had our break was Half decided to go off and get married.
I did.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
We had his bachelor party, and then we had his wedding, and then he had his honeymoon through Europe.
Yes.
Right?
Through northern Italy and Germany.
Oh, very cool.
Very awesome. It was very good. I will tell you, the Europeans don't really believe in ice or AC. Not a cool thing to do. Did not like that. There was one area...
They must not be up to date with, like, I mean, global warming.
I don't know.
Paris agreements was going on.
But, like, every hotel room we stayed in was, like, 75 degrees, and it sucked.
75 is great. No. 75 in the house right now.
Dude, I rock it at 70 all the time. Love it. It needs to be freezing in my house. Anyway, so I digress. We went to Europe. They don't allow you to drink tap water. Every water you get is a bottled water, and you get charged for it. Cool thing, some places don't worry about tipping. They tell you it's already included. And you're like, all right, great. But then you feel like a scumbag when you're leaving. But it's okay. Italy was cool. I got to drive through Italy. That was awesome. I felt I was really worried, and this is an ignorant American thing. I, for some reason, thought that every European country drove on the other side of the road, and they don't. It's only the ones that were taken over by England. So English colonies drive on the other side of the road.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, everywhere else drives normally like us.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, and Europe is not about the automatic life. They are definitely about the manual life.
Oh, stick shift everybody.
Oh, they love stick shift, man.
Shit, so that's a problem for me.
Yeah, no. So we got an automatic car.
Oh,
like we got an automatic. It was great. That was fun.
How long were you out there?
13 days.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was. We ate a lot of pasta. We ate a lot of.
What was your favorite spot? Favorite place? Favorite city? Whatever.
I had a great time in Munich. We had a really good time there, but like in a romantic kind of, you'll remember it, was this little town called Vernazza in Cinque Terre. It's on the west coast of Italy. It's really, really nice.
Cool.
Yeah. So if you're ever in the area, go. It's super awesome.
Sure.
Yeah.
Next week when I hop the puddle over there.
Eat shit. I'm not that bougie. All right. So yeah,
that's true. You're not Peter.
I got married. It's awesome. So I'm not Peter. So we're good. Now in some pressing issue, that's basically what happened in the 3 months, right?
Yeah.
Nothing much. I mean, we're going to touch on some things throughout the show. Not a lot, guys. We understand there's been a shit ton of stuff that goes on.
Yeah, and we did miss a lot of shit that we would have loved to chew up with you guys, you guys.
But that's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And we're not going to go back in time, and we think it's disingenuous to the new things that pop up to go back and kind of do that. Now, if in the event something in the future pops up and it relates to something that happened in the last 3 months, then guess what? We'll talk about it. But if not, is gone. Is in history.
Also, I will say if there's anything that you guys do want us to chew up a little bit, feel free to email us at backofthebusmiami@gmail.com and we will take it under advisement.
Or send us a DM on our Instagram page.
Correct. Slide
into the DMs.
Just no dick pics, please. I mean, fuck, at this point, I'll take the dick pics.
We'll take anything. We're just like, okay.
Whatever. I'll take the traffic.
What's the Instagram handle?
Back of the Bus Podcast.
Back of the Bus Podcast. Not Back of the Bus Miami?
No.
At Back of the Bus Podcast.
Yeah.
Get on it, scumbags. All right? So, you ready to get to the show?
Let's do it, man.
Guess what? We're getting in. Put on your gym shorts. Don't look at the other dudes taking a shower. Get ready. Because we're getting PE going. We didn't have an open for that, but here we go. Anyway, so lots recently, the last couple weeks actually, just probably the last 2 weeks, have happened in sports.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to touch on one. We're going to touch on a few of these things. The first one being LeBum or LeBron, depending on where you are with him, has decided to go to the Lakers. One of the things you know what? Initial reaction, one-word reaction. Go ahead.
Predictable.
You know what mine is? What? That's my one-word reaction. Not so much that he went to the Lakers. I get it. He wants to transition from basketball to other things. He has his own entertainment firm now and all that. What came after him going over there was the what? He picked up Rajon Rondo and Lance Stevenson. And he's already on there with Lonzo Ball.
And JaVale McGee.
And I'm just sitting there like, did he say, hey, Magic, I'm going to come to the Lakers, but I want you to give me every annoying player that I've ever played against in my career?
Well, so there's a couple of things. So I think the number one thing that you hit on is you're absolutely right. This is about LeBron, the brand builder, as opposed to LeBron chasing championships.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if he wanted to chase a championship, he would have gone to Philly.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Or you could argue that he would have gone to the Rockets or something like that.
Well, the Rockets had an impossible salary cap situation and no draft picks to trade, and any move they were going to make, they're trying to saddle Ryan Anderson's contract on there. Yeah. So there's just no team is going to do that. Yeah. So he's not going there. He wasn't going. I knew he wasn't going there from the beginning. Lakers was his only stop unless he decided to go to Philly or stay in Cleveland.
I honestly thought, and I wasn't going to be one of those naive Miami fans and think that he was coming back here. No, he wasn't coming here. I knew that. But I honestly thought he was going to go to Philly. Why? Because I don't know if he wanted to go. I guess he did. But I didn't know if in his thinking he wanted to go to the West Coast. Because now it's, but now that I think about it and I've backed up a little bit from it, I get it. So now every time the Lakers and the Celtics play each other,
it's huge television.
It's huch television because you have Kyrie versus LeBron.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of implications for it. So let's chew up a little bit about what you talked about the supporting cast that they got. Mm-hmm. A lot of those guys are coming on 1-year deals. Yeah. So that the Lakers are going to have maximum cap flexibility
next year when Durant opts out of his contract with the Golden State Warriors and everything else.
And whatever happens with Kawhi happens, and several other notable players that are going to be free coming up. Absolutely. I thought Lance Stevenson was particularly funny just because of their history. Yeah. I don't think as much as Mike and I talked about this. I don't think Rondo's such a bad fit. Rondo had a really good year last year.
Where was he? Exactly. He had a really good year last year, but you don't know where he was.
But that's fine. But he had a good year, and Rondo's the kind of guy who on a team of fucking crazy. I mean, he's a crazy guy off the court, but on the court he can distribute the ball. His problem is that he can't shoot, and being with LeBron in that spot, typically everybody assumes that what you need is shooters who can space the floor around him. I don't think that you're going to see the same kind of LeBron that you saw in Cleveland, because you didn't have in Cleveland, besides Kyrie, and especially this year after Kyrie was gone, playmakers who can play with the ball and then distribute the ball like the way LeBron can. And Rondo can do that. Rondo can bring the ball up the floor. He can, be that floor general, which allows LeBron to kind of play that off the ball, forward in the elbow post, like the shit that Carmelo likes to play. Yeah. Which is going to be amazing, because if he does play that style and then succeeds with it, everybody who's been shitting on Carmelo for the last 15 years are gonna have to shit their pants and shut their mouths. But whatever.
Where do you think Carmelo's going?
Oh, I'm pretty sure he's gonna. If I had to guess, I'd say LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you heard that they're
gonna get the buyout and whatever. I mean, he'd be stupid not to. Again, Houston is fine, but I don't think that James Harden is appropriate
for him
for managing. I mean, I guess Chris Paul is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think Melo will be a better fit in LA.
Let me ask you this: do you think that his cast on the Lakers is better than the cast on the Cavs?
Well, Kuzma's a legit player. He's probably the person, if I was LeBron, I'd be most excited with playing.
Okay.
I don't think this year that question matters, only because this is just about a layover year until we get to whatever.
You think this year the streak ends of him ending up
in
the
finals? He's not going in the finals. Okay. I mean, did you not see what Golden State did in response?
Oh, yeah. Signed fucking Boogie Cousins.
I mean, like, it doesn't matter.
It's not fair anymore.
That team is built to destroy people.
They're all playing in 2018, and the Golden State Warriors are playing in, like, 3018.
What I find more interesting is, does this eventually lead us to the point where they're going to have to consider reseeding the playoffs just 1 through 16 instead of this East-West shit? Because Eastern Conference has Giannis Antetokounmpo and...
That's it. And the 76ers?
And Philly. And Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons.
But no, I think so. I think you're going to have to... I think at some point they're going to have to seriously look at it. Because what's going to happen is you're going to have all of these teams in the... This is what everyone's fear is, right? Because we don't know what's actually going to happen. But everyone's fear is that you're going to have teams that aren't going to make the playoffs in the West, but had they been in the East, it would have been like a 3 seed. You know what I mean?
Right.
And look, I get it, man. That's not fair. It's not. There's that doesn't scream parity. But if you do that, then what does it mean for the Eastern and Western conferences, right? Like, do they even matter anymore?
No, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna have to recalibrate how they do like divisions and conferences. That's all gonna have to go.
Yeah.
Or you can do that for regular season and then have some kind of hybrid, right? Where if you win your division, you're guaranteed a top 4 or top whatever 8 seed, and then the bottom 8 seeds is based on record.
Maybe.
I think that's maybe how you split the difference.
Maybe. Isn't that something like the college bowl season too? Like, don't they do that? Like, if you or no?
Yeah, like if you win your
you win your conference, you're automatically into to a certain bowl. Yeah.
Yeah, some shit like that.
All right.
That's how I would do it.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, you know who else has seating like that too? Your favorite sport.
Yes, they do.
Soccer.
No, that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah. Soccer has that kind of seating.
Okay.
So the Premier League, all the teams are on the same, they're all on the same wavelength, man.
Oh.
And then as they win and score goals, you move up. And
fascinating.
Then that's how it works.
And when they tie?
When they tie, that's it. They tie. You don't get any points. Congratulations. Or you get 1 point, but both teams get 1 point.
Oh.
And you got to keep moving on.
Fascinating.
I know. You know what else is fascinating? The World Cup.
Ooh, even better.
It's going on right now. And right now...
Kickball for the kids on the short bus.
It's not kickball. It's called football.
Sure.
But I don't know if we want to call it football with that kind of accent, considering that there are only 4 teams left, and it's basically the Euro Cup.
Yeah, so none of the teams from South Mexico have made it to the Final Four in the World Cup, I've heard.
No. Right now we have France.
In case you're wondering, everything south of Texas is Mexico.
We have France, Belgium, Croatia, and England. That's it. Who is out of those 4, who's your winner of the World Cup?
Ooh, I'm going to go with Belgium.
Ooh, good pick. Young team, golden class. Good job.
Sure.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'm going with England. I think that they may have the spark, but I wouldn't be surprised if Belgium or France wins. France is a very young team. They've got an all-star on there right now.
Does Zidane still play?
No, he coaches.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That should tell you everything I need.
Yeah. Good job, though. Good job.
Thanks.
All right.
Great.
Cool. Moving on. You want to move to a sport that you really like?
Yeah. Can we talk about real sport now?
The most boring fucking sport on earth.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because watching 11 dudes kick a ball around for 90 minutes and not score is fucking thrilling.
Yeah.
And then your boy, what's his face, pretending to roll around on the floor.
Neymar?
Yeah, no. Listen, That is moving stuff. It's great. Shakespearean.
It's got acting involved too.
Yeah, that shit sucks.
It's not like baseball where you sit there for 9 hours and just watch people swing a bat, and sometimes they hit a ball and sometimes they don't.
Yeah, you want to know why? Because it's actually hard.
No.
To do.
No.
Yes, it is. Just bro, just because you were like our fucking this randomly amazing softball player doesn't mean you can hit an actual slider from an actual professional. I'm just letting you know that
baseball's boring. It's a dying sport, actually.
Sure, it's not actually.
It is a dying sport.
Attendance is up every year. Every year people keep saying that, and every year people keep showing up to these games.
I think it's because it's like a museum. They want to go and just
the Yankees are sports' most valuable franchise.
That sports most valuable.
No. Sports.
Wrong. I beg to differ. You're telling me that the Yankees are worth more than Real Madrid?
Again, sports.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Not soccer.
Hold on.
Soccer's not a sport.
Excuse me for 1 second. What is the most valuable sports franchise? Oh, let's see. It is a burger. No, it's actually the Dallas Cowboys at $4 billion. Followed by Real Madrid at $3.7 billion. Followed by FC Barcelona at $3.6 billion.
They don't count.
Followed by the New York Yankees at $3.4 billion.
Okay. So, number 2 behind the Dallas Cowboys. I'll take that.
No. They're number 4.
They're number 2.
And number 5.
Soccer doesn't count,
oh my God.
dude.
Dude, they're number... Okay, so the list goes the Cowboys, Real Madrid, FC Barcelona, the Yankees, Manchester United, another soccer team, the Patriots, and finally the New York Knicks at $3 billion.
Yeah, because, New York.
Yeah, right. Any case.
Soccer doesn't count. So we're number 2.
We're going to ask anyway. How are your Yankees doing?
They're doing phenomenally, actually.
Good.
They are, I think, a game behind currently on the Red Sox right now. I don't know the actual standing. It doesn't matter. It's too early in the season to look at that.
But it's so important to you.
It is. It's super important to me. I watch it almost every game.
But you don't understand it, do you?
I don't understand what?
You don't understand the records?
I understand them. I just it doesn't matter right now.
Oh, okay.
Right now is,
I think you could take off the right now of that statement, and then that would be perfect.
Right now, the important thing is just to get a measure of how the team is playing and see what moves need to be made before the trade deadline.
Okay.
As most any Yankee fan will tell you, the one thing that we need is a starting pitcher.
Yes, you do. I hear
because Sonny Gray is hot garbage. I had such hopes for that dude when we traded for him. I hadn't been that excited in a while, except for then when we got Giancarlo. That's a different animal altogether. Who, by the way, killing it.
Yep.
Killing it lately.
Yep. It's fine.
But, we need a starting pitcher pretty badly.
Okay.
And Sonny Gray right now could not start a playoff game.
Ugh.
It'd be like throwing the game.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's awful. And it sucks for him because he's a young guy. He has his whole career ahead of him.
It's probably doing something to him mentally, like knowing that he's fucking up a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you what Fredo says, and it's like it's a common refrain among Yankee fans. It's just those pinstripes are heavy, bro.
You think it was the New York how
pinstripes are heavy?
Yeah,
man.
no.
You carry a lot on your shoulders when you throw on those pinstripes and you go out there every 5 days.
I got you.
So we'll see what they do, but yesterday we had a couple of minor injuries.
Okay.
Over the last few weeks, we've had a few minor injuries that could be troublesome later down the road if they are nagging type things that kind of persist. But if everybody rounds into form, it's gonna be an interesting playoff.
Interesting.
It's got either way. My opinion is through the American League, the World Series goes through Houston or New York.
You think so?
Yeah, Boston's doing awesome. I mean, I hate them, but they're I think they're up half a game or a game on us right now because Chris Sale is fucking incredible. But in the long run, their bullpen's is not as good.
Who are your teams to watch? Like
if I'm gonna watch a game, like if I'm bored and I've got nothing on, there are a few teams. Pick your 5, right? Who are the 5 teams I should look out for and watch?
Well, Boston, New York, Houston.
Okay.
The Brewers, surprisingly enough, are killing it.
All right.
And I think a really interesting team in the National League is the Diamondbacks.
The Diamondbacks?
Yeah. They started off really hot. They kind of
fizzled a little bit,
but lately they've been tearing up. I think they scored 18 runs yesterday in a game. Mark Reynolds, who is we dumped that guy long ago. I think he had 10 RBIs yesterday.
Nice.
Like, he's killing it. They played the Marlins yesterday.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think they beat the Marlins 18-5, 18-4 or some shit.
Well, damn.
Whatever the Marlin scored doesn't really matter. The other guy scored 18 runs.
I was too busy eating soup dumplings and eating green tea dumplings.
Yeah, I was losing my beer pong tournament that I participated in.
Bro, so we're going to touch... You know what? We're in PE. We're in sports. Let's talk about this. Black went to a beer pong tournament yesterday. And
well, it was El Possum's Prince's birthday.
The Possum Prince's birthday.
Yeah, it was his birthday yesterday, so our boy Daryl decided to throw a party/beer pong tournament at his house in honor of the Prince's
birthday.
Name day.
Yes, his name day.
So, Marin, help Sir Don to celebrate my name day.
I, who am a veteran of the game of beer pong and flip cups and things of that nature, and who have won a number of tournaments on my end and have hit a lot of death cups and hit a lot of done rebuttals, and I know the game in and out. It's one of my good things. I don't get an invite. So instead, Black goes it with... Who was your partner in this?
Nico Mike.
With Nico Mike. Okay, I'll take that. What I'll tell you is what you guys didn't have was height. Do you want to know why? The taller you are, the easier it is to aim. Because you're not throwing at a curve, you're throwing at a laser. So you just kind of throw down.
Downwards.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to solidify that argument with who won?
Mao and Karina.
And how tall is Mao?
Like 11 feet tall.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you went to a beer pong tournament.
And we got bounced out by Mo and Edison, and Edison's probably like 9 feet tall.
Yeah. So you went to a beer pong tournament, and you left your strongest player on the bench.
I did. In
the bench. I'm not taking it personally because we went and we saw Ant-Man today, so that's fine. But I am... I hope you live with that regret.
I do, because there was a fucking championship belt on the line.
I know.
And I wanted that belt so badly.
We're going to put a picture of the championship belt and the team and the team who won, just so you can see how tall this dude is that won.
Yeah. Also, Grace, my sister was talking mad shit leading up to it, and she ended up in the finals.
Damn.
So I'm never going to live that down.
Her and Frank, huh?
Yeah, her and
Jesus. So, yeah. Beer pong is our thing, and we will play anybody in beer pong. Hit us up on the DMs.
Yeah, let me know.
You want to play? We'll do the Ocho Cinco. We'll come to you.
Yep.
And we will play you in beer pong.
And it won't be pretty.
And it won't because I'll whip your ass.
So, because if I hold my own like I did yesterday, and Half does his thing, you guys are it's pretty much a wrap. So, at any rate, moving on. Wrestling.
So
yesterday, while you were eating your dumplings and whatever else the fuck you were doing,
we had a couple things going on in wrestling and things outside of wrestling that are wrestling related. New Japan had a show in of all places, the Cow Palace in California. This was their G1 special. It's ahead of their G1 tournament that takes place later in the month. It's a crazy ass tournament. They call it breakup season because everybody is in Japan trying to win this tournament. It's going to be great. If you guys don't know a little bit about New Japan, they've got some really cool wrestlers that are out right now. A lot of the shirts that you see at Hot Topic are New Japan shirts.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So you'll see the Bullet Club, and you'll see Los Ingobernables de Japón, and you might see Chaos and all these guys. These are all the little factions. New Japan is very faction-related. There are a lot of factions in New Japan. Almost every wrestler that's on the main roster is part of a faction outside of maybe 2. Okay. Anyway, they had a show last night. The big main event was Kenny Omega versus formerly known as Cody Rhodes. Now he just is Cody. He calls himself the American Nightmare, which I love.
Fantastic.
I fucking love that name.
You've known me as the grandson of a plumber. You've known me as dashing and the Prince of Dark. The star that left them in the dust. But is the world ready for the next chapter of the story? Is the world ready for the American Nightmare?
Bullet Club for life.
If you don't know, he's the son of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Yes. So American Nightmare is just... Mwah.
Yeah, he is the youngest son of Dusty Rhodes. He's like
R.I.P.
35, I think, something like that. Maybe a little bit younger than that.
He's got a smoking hot wife.
Brandy Rhodes. and
absolutely ridiculously hot.
He fought Kenny Omega for the IWGP Championship, which is New Japan's big title. It's their championship. Kenny won that. He beat Okada. If you've never watched the Kenny Omega and Okada match, you've got to do it.
Yeah, from Wrestle Kingdom, right?
Oh, no. That wasn't Wrestle Kingdom. That was at Dominion. At Dominion.
Right. Okay. Really good match.
It was a no time limit, best out of 3 falls.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing match. 7 stars. 7 stars. Amazing match. Anyway, so you had some things happen there. So you had Kenny Omega retain his belt. He beat Cody. There's been this huge rift between him and Cody and the Bullet Club. They seem to have taken it back. They've walked it back. They're friendly now. And it seems to pan out, and we'll see where it goes from there. However, after that match, the rest of the Bullet Club, or more importantly, 2 members of the Bullet Club, came out and attacked the rest of the Bullet Club and beat the living fucking snot out of all of them. They beat the hell out of them. And now we're left to try to figure out where they're going to go from there. But I guess the bigger news is apparently Hiromu broke his neck last night.
Who's Hiromu?
He is a wrestler from Los Ingobernables de Japón. He is really cool. This guy used to come out with a cat. The cat's name was Daryl. And that was his cat. It was his tag partner sometimes.
His cat's name was Daryl.
In a recent match, or a recent house show that they did last week, actually, Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi versus Hiromu and Naito, who is another great wrestler. And in the beginning of the match, Daryl was in the middle of the ring, this stuffed cat, and Kota Ibushi...
It's a stuffed cat.
Yeah, it's a stuffed cat. And Kota Ibushi...
Anda la mierda.
Kota came out and started headlocking it
nice.
and messing around with it. It was hilarious. Anyway, he took a really bad bump last night from Dragon Lee, I think it was. And at first, everyone just assumed that he had gotten concussed because it was bad. He still retained his title, but the match ended very quickly after that. Everyone thought he had gotten concussed because he got the pin and got the fuck out of there. But it turns out that when he got backstage, he collapsed and they had to take him to the hospital. And he might have a broken neck, a la Sabu.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
that was a nasty one.
Yeah, that was a nasty one when Sabu broke his neck. I mean, Austin broke his neck too.
Wasn't that Taz?
I think it was Taz.
Taz or Benoit?
No, I think it was Taz. Taz suplexed him and broke his
neck.
The
full Nelson suplex thing.
Yeah. So that's some big news from New Japan area. Not a lot happened in WWE. They had a MSG house show last night at Madison Square Garden. Taker, I guess, wrestled Roman Reigns. I don't know who won, and I don't really care at this point. But more importantly, last night at UFC 200 billion, whatever it was, Daniel Cormier, is that how you say his name? Mm-hmm. He won and got the belt, I guess the championship belt.
The heavyweight
championship belt. Yeah. And guess who pops up? Brock Lesnar.
Was Paul Heyman with him?
No, Paul Heyman was not with him. And actually, I'll tell you this. I like Brock Lesnar talking without Paul Heyman. He got in there and was telling Daniel Cormier, "You ain't shit. I'm going to fuck you up."
All right, folks, I'm here with Brock Lesnar. Brock. What does this all mean to you, Brock?
Let me tell you something. I walked into this building and watched the heavyweight disasters from the beginning. Nagano's a piece of shit. Miocic's a piece of shit. DC, I'm coming for you, motherfucker!
Yeah, but it's different. Him talking in UFC and able to be that is very different than what he's able to do in WWE.
In WWE, yeah.
So I think Heyman's a great mouthpiece for him in WWE.
Well, what's really confusing, and I don't know if this is just the way they're going now, is that the WWE, their Instagram page and I guess their Twitter posted that Brock Lesnar was at the show, he was at the UFC show, and then they posted after about him challenging Daniel Cormier,
they've got to have much improved relations if you consider not just Brock but Ronda, the other 4 horsewomen of
MMA Shayna Baszler and all of them
that have transported. Shayna Baszler's killing it, by the way.
Yeah, she's killing NXT, man.
But props
this leads to another thing that WWE has been doing too. About a week ago at E3, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, who are part of New Japan, challenged the New Day to
Street Fighter.
Yep. All right. In the end, I think it was Kenny Omega won. And
did he?
I think so. I want to say that Kenny Omega and the New Day won. They beat it. It came down to who you had expected. It was Kenny Omega versus Xavier Woods, right? And so I think Kenny beat him. And then, but the WWE was all over that.
Right.
And on the Instagram pages, you had the Young Bucks and you had Kenny Omega. And what's really weird is how the WWE used to be very, it's only us. There's nothing else.
Correct.
We don't care. And now they are really opening up. They even put an old school that they had the rights to, an old school Kenny Omega match on the WWE network.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he was wrestling in some like Midwest place or whatever, and they put it up. And it's nuts. They've been doing some other stuff too, like with TNA, where AJ Styles and all of them, like all of their backlog, they're showing it now. Like not the actual matches, but like if they're doing a promo on them and they're talking about their history, they'll talk about it. They do this thing called formerly known or formerly
right. Yeah.
And the wrestlers are allowed to talk about their old characters, which is fucking nuts because it's not something you would see back in the day.
Right. Well, I mean, that's I would venture to guess that a lot of that's thanks to Triple H.
Yeah. So what I would think is that Triple H is starting to do this. They've also announced a new NXT UK. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be an NXT.
And they've been having that tournament. Have you watched it?
No. Yeah, I've seen most of it. Yeah, I've seen pieces here.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. So, but now they're
too busy losing SR and Overwatch.
They're starting a new brand, and it's NXT UK.
Right.
It's crazy, and apparently they've just signed on a partnership with a Japanese brand where what's his name, who's now in 205 Live, came from.
Hideo Itami?
Hideo Itami came from, yeah.
Or Tozawa?
No, Hideo Itami. It's where he came from. I think it's Noah, Japan Noah or whatever it is.
Okay.
So now there's all these talks of WWE reaching out and doing cross promotions and stuff like that, which gets everybody, all the smarks, which are the smart marks, it gets us all in a tizzy because then they're like, oh, when is Kenny Omega going to show up to a match? Or when are the Young Bucks going to show up?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about because earlier, before we started recording, you were talking about like, you're anticipating that.
Yeah, I anticipate
Young Bucks and Kenny will be.
Well, more than anything, I anticipate the Young Bucks to do it. I know that they're kind of wrestling. Well, here first I'll say that I read an article or interview that they did recently about and people know that their contracts are coming up. Their contract with ROH and New Japan are coming up.
Oh, okay.
They call it contract season. So they're like, and in the interview they said, yeah, contract season's coming up. And instead of saying anything, what they said next was really telltale. It was, we're going to do what's right for our families. And when I hear that, I hear we're going to take as much money as is possible, and we're going to go to a place where they were able to take a wrestler who was told will never wrestle again, put him through protocols, and get him back to wrestling.
Right. Well, not only that, but it's not Japan.
Yeah, and their families live here.
Right.
So if you have
the Carolinas, if I'm not
and
mistaken.
if you have the opportunity to travel the U.S. and every once in a while have to leave, you're gonna take that.
Yeah.
So more than Kenny Omega, I think the Young Bucks will come over before Kenny does. I could see Kenny doing it at some point. He recently said that he'd be really.
There's so many matches, dude. That
yeah.
they could do.
Well, he said something to the effect of like, it wouldn't behoove me to not wrestle these guys, to not wrestle the Seths, to not wrestle the Xavier Woods, the Big E's.
Right.
Like it's in my best interest to be able to wrestle these guys. Especially when he said
that's a draw, man.
And he said especially when while I'm still able to wrestle.
Listen, I think right now a Kenny Omega surprise entrance into any Raw, SmackDown, or pay-per-view, whatever the case may be, would get the second largest pop to the only thing that could be possibly louder, which would be a returning CM Punk. Even after getting annihilated in UFC, I don't care. I understand that he got his ass kicked in real fighting, but in the fake fighting that we love so much, if that dude pops up and you hear the opening chords of Cult of Personality, you're going to lose your fucking mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so my guess would be, if any of that happens, that will take place on the SmackDown on Fox.
Yeah, when it goes to Fox, which, by the way, happened while we were out.
Yep.
So, go ahead.
So Fox paid, I don't know, how many billions of dollars?
It was close to $1 billion, actually.
I thought it was more.
No, I think it was close to $1 billion. Maybe. But yeah.
So Fox paid a boatload of money to air SmackDown live on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So they moved it from Friday to Tuesday, right?
Yes, they've moved it from Friday to Tuesday.
So here's my big question for you, you know, we're gonna have to
$1.025 billion over 5 years.
5 years. That's where I got the 5
While
from.
NBC paid WWE $265 million just for Monday Night Raw.
Right. Well, but here's the thing about what NBC has done wrong versus what Fox might do differently. NBC's been a great home for Raw. They let them do
on
mostly
USA,
what they
let
want.
them do whatever they want.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But they don't spend a lot of time cross promoting it. Like you don't see on Sunday Night Football on NBC commercials for Monday Night Raw the next day.
Yeah.
Right. Fox is gonna do the exact opposite.
Oh yeah,
You're gonna have fucking Roman Reigns in the booth during Monday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, during Sunday Football in the afternoons or whatever the fuck. Like they're gonna promote the shit out. Fox as a network is skewing towards a particular audience.
Absolutely.
And you know they're going to go all in for it because they need the return on investment.
Yep. So
that's why I think that this creates more of a possibility than ever that you get a CM Punk back because WWE's gonna have to put asses in seats at even more so than they have been already, and that would be the biggest draw that they could get.
Well, it'll also be them on network television. And
Right.
Don't tell me that SmackDown was on network television before because UPN doesn't.
We agree 100%. This is a major network. This is one of the big 4 or 5 whatever networks there are.
Mind you, it's on a Friday. It's on the same time as the Big 3 goes on right now. But
is it Friday or Tuesday?
SmackDown? SmackDown's
currently
on Friday. Oh, currently it's on Tuesday. Yeah, it's on Tuesday USA. Currently.
Oh, so the new one's gonna be on Friday.
Yeah, the new
one's
one's
my
gonna be on
bad.
Friday.
Earlier I said that wrong. So the new one's gonna be live on Friday nights.
Live on Friday nights, yeah.
Okay.
So, and then there's talk of FS1. Then there's talk of FS1 taking NXT.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like that. I want NXT to stay on just the network.
Just the network?
I don't want them to do anything
else
to ruin
NXT.
NXT's perfect as it is.
Yeah, it's a great brand.
Velveteen Dream's a fucking man,
and he will.
And they would neuter him.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that on FS1. You know. In any case, yeah, that's wrestling in a nutshell. We'll see where it goes and we'll see what happens. But
yeah, storyline wise, there's not a lot of interesting shit to talk about. I mean,
right now you got Team Hell No's back, and they're gonna fight the Bludgeon Brothers. You got Extreme Rules. What, next week? I think it is. Extreme Rules next week.
I guess.
You've got the Bludgeon Brothers who are gonna fight Team Hell No. You've got Roman Reigns who's gonna fight Bobby Lashley
Snooze Fest
in the fucking most boring fight of all time. You've got Seth Rollins who's going to fight
Ziggler in a 30-minute Iron Man match.
30-minute
Can't
Iron
wait
Man
to see
match.
that shit, boy.
Yeah. I love Ziggler and
McIntyre together. It's fantastic.
It's
great.
great.
Shawn and Diesel 2.0.
Yeah,
as you've mentioned a couple times.
Yeah.
They gave Ronda's character on that one segment on Monday Night Raw like the makeover that she needed.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Kind of like happy-go-lucky chick to I'm gonna murder you.
Yep.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yep.
That's about it. I mean,
yeah.
Shinsuke's going after Jeff Hardy ever since he flamed out, going for the strap.
Yeah, I think we've seen Shinsuke's push end a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the end of Shinsuke that you're gonna see though. He's too much of a talent, especially, and he's too good of a heel. The problem is that he is attached to the hip, and I think they needed to get it out before they could really push him. He's attached to the hip with AJ Styles because of New Japan.
Right.
Like everybody wanted to clamor, just like everyone's clamoring for Daniel Bryan, The Miz, right? And
no, but that's your WrestleMania main event next year.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
Somehow, either Daniel Bryan or The Miz gets the title, and that's your WrestleMania main event. It's Daniel Bryan versus The Miz.
How'd you feel about Strowman getting the briefcase?
I was cool with it. That's fine. I mean, they gave it to him. Who cares? But I like it.
I didn't think he needed it.
Well, here's the thing, though. He did for storyline. Here's the thing. And he said it right after. He's like, if he didn't have the briefcase, he couldn't go after Brock whenever Brock popped his head up.
Oh, okay.
And he came out and was like, the second you pop your head up, I'm there.
Taking the title.
Like, I'm going to cash it in. Yeah, Braun is very likely to not cash it in the normal way that we think, like people running in. He's likely to say, I've got it right here. You're right here. Let's go right now.
Like in the middle of Paul Heyman talking his shit or whatever.
Braun Strowman just comes out and just beats the holy hell out of
We'll see.
Out of
that
Brock.
Could be interesting. I do like the fact that they've given Roman Reigns something else to do other than chase the title.
Yeah.
Not because I want to see Roman Reigns do it. I just don't want to see him
Roman Reigns needs to live at the mid-card until Dean Ambrose comes back.
And then, good point. And then, like, they've given the Revival a little bit to do.
Yeah.
Even though the way that script that played out on Monday was stupid. Like, they're such a smart tag team, and they're going to lose via disqualification.
Who cares? Let him lose. Let him lose.
Whatever. Anyway,
wins
that
and
was
losses,
wrestling.
Wins and losses don't matter.
No, but coherent storytelling matters.
All right.
And they would know better. Oh. Whatever. Anyway, that's wrestling. All right. Well,
so
bell rings. He's over.
Yeah, and that's what happens at the end of Game of Thrones.
That's fucking amazing.
There you go. All right. Yeah. So we realize that it's all Westworld Part 4. That's what it is. Anyway.
Are you watching that shit?
Hell yeah, I watch Westworld.
I'm not watching it.
That is my jizzy jam. I love it. Anyway.
Oh, man.
What?
And TV anime recommendation for you.
Okay.
It's on Hulu.
Okay.
My Hero Academia.
My Hero Academia. You already told me about this.
The girls love it.
Yeah, you told me.
Caesar might dig it.
Okay.
Check it out.
I gotta check it out.
All right.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, just because we're in season 2 doesn't mean we forgot where we came from.
Correct.
As always, you guys expect it, and we expect to give it to you, and you're gonna take it. It's called.
The fuck?
It's called The Atmosphere. So what we do around here, we kind of grab a few little tidbits that are flying around in the atmosphere before they burn up. Everything week to week in this world seems to be the sky is falling or things are happening. And we want to touch on them before they, disappear.
The atmosphere.
First up, we're going to talk about Ray's best friend.
Oh, man. Love this guy.
He's so cool with Ray. He invited him to his, what did this guy buy again? Like a safe room and put it in the 30th floor or some shit like that.
Yeah, whatever.
Scott Pruitt, the former head of the EPA. So, he
was out to dinner or some shit.
Was out to dinner when a woman approached him and her daughter and said, I want you to resign because of what you're doing to the environment. It's going to kill her.
Yeah.
And
next day, like 2 days later, he quit.
And 2 days later, he quit. I'm not going to say he quit because of that. It's probably because of the multitude of allegations of him mismanaging and overspending.
And misappropriating funds.
Exactly.
And being a general douchebag.
Yeah. So what's happened now is there have been a lot of rollbacks in certain rules and legislation and stuff like that. And people are happy that he's gone. However, instead, they put in, I believe he's an oil lobbyist.
Oh, they already replaced him?
Yeah. There's an interim. Fantastic. There's an interim, and I'm pretty sure he's a lobbyist for another like big bad kind of industry, and it's not going to get any better. But what I did hear is that he's more tactful with what he does.
Right. He's probably not going to spend taxpayer money on 6 private jets or whatever.
Exactly. He's not going to spend the taxpayer money, but he will still murder the environment.
Right. Yeah. Well, great. So just total side note, my favorite part of this whole thing was like. After Scott Pruitt resigned.
His letter?
No. The lady tweeted at Donald Trump, and she's like, hey, we're going to be going for lunch tomorrow. That shit was just money.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, man, look, the EPA thing is interesting just because it's not often talked about as much as, like, some of these other things that are going on, like immigration and shit like that.
Yeah. Well, that's because, honestly, it's because they've done such a good job at cleaning up the smogs and everything else that we don't talk about it. Because I remember as a kid in the late 80s, early 90s, I guess, the smog, you would get a smog report for cities like New York and California and stuff like that, or cities in California. And that all went away.
Right.
Because we have done a great job of monitoring how much carbon dioxide we use, and we've done a good job. I mean, by all means, look, we're not going to get into global warming, but I'm just saying, like, we've done an okay job of
climate change.
Yeah, climate change. Sorry, climate change. We've done an okay job of making sure that we're not breathing in smog all the time. And look, we've become a little bit complacent. We just don't notice it anymore. So what's going to happen is all of these little rules and policies that they make, they're probably going to roll back some of them. And again,
they've rolled back a ton of. And the thing that is more concerning to me is it's not only the climate change policies that they've reneged on or whatever, but it's also just some of the other environmental stuff, like the hunting policies and all that shit that they've done. Like, you can shoot bears that are in their dens or whatever now. You can trap them with like things that they had implemented to preserve wildlife.
Yeah.
Now they just wiped all that shit off the books, and it's so douchey. Like, why do you need to be able to bait a bear? Well, first of all, why do you want to hunt a bear?
I mean,
let's start there.
Don't you want to hunt a bear?
No, no interest in hunting a bear.
All right.
And taking a picture. Oh, like I killed a bear. So the fuck what, dude? You have a gun. It doesn't. Like, what the fuck do you want? They can shoot bears from helicopters now.
Yeah, and they can shoot elk from helicopters too.
That's so stupid.
Okay.
It's just shit like that. And then a lot of the rollbacks that they pulled back on, like conserved ground and shit that was like parks and shit like that now they're able to drill on and shit like that. That's gonna have a lot longer term effects than we can really see right now, and it's not as juicy to put on the news as crying kids in cages.
Oh yeah.
But it's it's still gonna be really harmful, man, and it's a shame that this is what
and listen,
conversation we have to have about it.
As individuals who have children, we've got to worry about what we're leaving our kids with, right?
Makes you wonder why other people don't think that way.
Because they're just terrible people. I don't know. I don't know why people don't. I don't know why people don't. I don't know why people think the way they do and don't think another way. A lot of it comes back to selfishness, how they were raised. A lot of people don't realize what they're doing is bad. It's like, why do people still continue to smoke cigarettes?
Yeah, that befuddles
the shit out of you.
Fuck out of me.
Like why? Why do you continue to smoke cigarettes? You know that they're bad for you.
Cabeza.
They've been bad for you for many, many years, and you still are just like, I'm just going to keep smoking cigarettes. No, dumbass. Stop. Anyway, we digress.
So that's EPA. He resigned.
We move on.
He gets to, there has to be a confirmation hearings and shit like that again when he wants to appoint somebody. Yeah. Hopefully that gets postponed at least until after November.
If you guys want to see an impetulant baby, let the Democrats win the House or the Senate in 2018.
Oh, man.
Our president will become the biggest whining baby of all time.
As opposed to...
Oh, no. There are more depths that he can go. I guarantee you.
Okay. Wow, I can't wait to see that.
I guarantee you. It's going to be...
I hope they win both.
It'll be hilarious. It'll be hilarious.
Fuck. Get out there and fucking vote, everybody.
Yeah, that's what we're going to get to later, okay?
Yeah.
So before we do that, we're going to hit up some entertainment news. Like I said, and if you've been listening, thank you for listening. We just got back from watching Ant-Man and the Wasp.
We did.
And during the time we were gone, Infinity Wars came out.
It did.
Avengers 3, Infinity Wars. Weird to think that it's Avengers 3. It's just Avengers Infinity War. Anyway, so first, quick review of Ant-Man and the Wasp.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was an entertaining movie. Yeah. It wasn't, I think it accomplished what it set out to accomplish.
Absolutely.
It's a palate cleanser.
Yep.
It kind of leaves you, before you get to the post-credits, it leaves you in pretty good spirits. It entertains you. You laugh a lot. We laughed a whole bunch during the movie. It wasn't groundbreaking in any way.
Nope.
Although I will say, the way they used... the way Wasp used her shrinking and growing, her shit, she did a dope job. They did a dope job with how she incorporated that into her fighting style when her little wasp stings and shit like blasters. That. So that was pretty cool.
Good.
What's his name? The Mexican dude.
Michael Pena.
Michael Pena was fucking hysterical.
I would say he is funnier in this movie than he was in the first. And he's only funnier in this movie because we understand his character from the first movie,
right?
And so it makes
they had like a meta joke on that, right? About how ridiculous he is. It was great.
Yeah.
The post credits were interesting.
Actually, you know what? Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
I want this to be put on the record.
On the record.
I got the post credits right.
You did.
We all knew that something was going to happen with Infinity Wars. We had seen I hadn't seen the spoilers, but I had seen that, listen, of the two post-credit scenes, the first one, the middle credit, is the more important one. Right. That's the one that ties everything into Infinity Wars. And so everybody in the theater that we saw it with, and I'm talking about everybody, all 300 people, they were like, oh, no, the Wasp is going to survive, and so is Scott Lang. And I told them all, I stood in the front of the theater, I said, no, guys, I only think it's going to be Scott. And I used my deduction because I've seen set photos of Avengers 4. No, fuck you. So I've seen set photos of Avengers 4.
Like
and
you do with Game of Thrones, all that shit.
Shut up. And I had not seen Evangeline Lilly on set at all. Neither Michelle Pfeiffer or Michael Douglas. So I did see Scott Lang, though. He was there. He was shooting a scene with Hawkeye. So I'm like, all right, cool. I definitely know he's going to live, right? So I was just like, no, I think the only person who survives is Scott. And lo and behold, Scott's the only person to survive. Also, spoiler alert, sorry. So Scott survives the culling, but he's stuck in the quantum realm. So he's stuck in the quantum realm. And I believe that the quantum realm is going to hold some keys into Infinity Wars.
So who gets him out of the quantum realm? Strange?
Let's talk about Infinity Wars. Okay, no, who do you think gets him out of the quantum? I think he gets himself out of the quantum realm somehow.
Okay.
I don't know how, but...
So I thought that they would do something a little bit more dramatic. Like, I thought they'd wipe out, like, his daughter or his ex-wife. I thought Hank would go, too, but...
And give him a reason to get involved.
Yeah.
I don't think he really needs a reason to get... The whole movie, during the whole movie, it was all played about he got involved with Cap, and he didn't really need a reason. It was just Cap asked him. You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
and so I think that's the same thing. Like, he doesn't need a reason. Now he has one. Like, Hope is gone. They're all gone. So...
Yeah, I just thought that would have been it would have been more of a gut punch.
I guess. Who knows?
Especially like after in Infinity War when they gave you the gut punch with Spidey.
Yeah.
Like I thought they'd double down on that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be fun to see. I expected the title for Avengers 4 to be released with this. They did not do that. So I'm going to assume that it's probably going to come right before they release Captain Marvel. So then they'll end Captain Marvel with Captain Marvel will return in Avengers whatever.
Blah, blah. Right.
There was a quick blip on the radar that the Avengers 4 is going to be called Avengers Endgame. It's because a cinematographer or something who works with the Russos all the time. He worked with them on Captain America Civil War, on The Winter Soldier. He worked on the third Avengers, this Infinity War. And then he labeled the fourth Avengers Endgame. So everyone was in a tizzy. Oh, Avengers Endgame. But the Russo brothers have both said that the title to the next Avengers movie was not said during all of the Infinity War. So now,
and Doctor Strange says Endgame at some point.
Yeah, he tells Tony we're in the Endgame.
We're in the Endgame, yeah.
So who knows? Maybe the guy fucked up and he put the Endgame out, and now it is.
And now they got to change it.
Nah, dude, so much promotional work goes into that. I highly doubt.
But they're not promoting anything yet.
Yeah, but they've got to create things already, and also you've got a lot of not set photos, but you've got a lot of like drawings of what the characters are supposed to look like in the out in the Reddits already. So you have like Hulk apparently is wearing a suit, which is why people like not like a 3-piece suit, like almost like a Fantastic Four kind of suit, like a skin tight suit.
Oh shit!
So that's why people think that the quantum realm might play a really big part in this, because there's going to be some time jumping. There's going to be some maybe parallel universes.
Right.
Because they need to get the stones back from...
They're just going to bring the X-Men are going to kill everybody.
Maybe.
That's not happening. I'm just joking. But that would have been fucking awesome.
Yeah, because the movie's already done. The movie's shot. So, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what happens, but Infinity War ended with half of the population dying.
Amazing.
It was a great ending.
Amazing.
He throws
for everybody who's fucking complaining about it, amazing.
He throws the axe at him, and Thanos just looks at him and says, should have gone for the head. Click. Boom.
Amazing. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I just love that he called his shot.
Yeah.
I'm going to wake up and watch the sun rise on a grateful universe.
No, on an ungrateful universe.
Ungrateful universe.
On an ungrateful universe.
I thought he said grateful.
No, I'm almost positive if he said grateful, that's fine. I thought ungrateful universe was even better, because he knows that the universe is going to hate him for what he did, but he also knows that he did it in the best interest of the universe, which when he said that, I was like, yo.
Well, but I think that's, whatever. Either way, amazing. It was an amazing ending. The movie itself was just like set piece after set piece, so you have to kind of like...
The movie takes rewatching.
Yeah, it takes a couple of things to take it all in.
Yeah.
I thought it was awesome the way they did, like there was these small little details and nuance that if you're a comic fan or you've been paying attention to the movies, you catch, right? Like why, like everybody was, a question was how come it took Spider-Man so much longer to dust or whatever.
Yeah, you were telling me about this.
And, you know, the theory was that he felt it coming earlier than other people did because of his spider sense, which is, if they did do that for that reason, that's just brilliant filmmaking. You know, and we'll see. Everybody was going crazy about who survived and who didn't and why and contracts and all this shit.
Yeah.
I like to tell people that when you watch these movies, you have to kind of, as you're watching it, forget about whose contract is up, what's going on, what's going on outside of the realm of the movie, and just focus on the movie and enjoy the movie.
It's almost like going kayfabe. Like, you need to be kayfabe.
Yeah, you got to go kayfabe only.
You got to go kayfabe only, which is hard to do in this kind of day and age, especially with movies, because movies isn't built into kayfabe, right? Like, and kayfabe's a wrestling term where what happens on the screen is for real. Like, not that, you know, like, oh yeah, well, that wrestler really hates that guy, when really they really don't. And so you've got to go kayfabe, because you sit there, and I was sitting there in Infinity War, and I watched Spider-Man dust away, and I'm like, yeah, but Sony already has another movie coming out, which, by the way, they released the title. You saw?
Yeah,
Spider-Man
Far From Home.
Yeah. And I know that they just announced that Doctor Strange is getting a sequel, too. Yeah. You know Black Panther's going to have a sequel. You know the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to have a sequel. They have Volume 3 in the works. James Gunn just finished writing the script for it. It's like, so a little bit of that you've got to let go. You've got to just be like...
Yeah, you've got to suspend your disbelief long enough.
To be like, damn, this person's dead right now.
And forget your Twitter feed and all that other bullshit for the 2.5 hours that you're watching the movie and enjoy the movie.
Absolutely.
But Josh Brolin killed it as Thanos. I thought he was a better Thanos than he was a Cable.
Yeah, I haven't seen Deadpool yet.
What the fuck?
I
saw it the day we got back from your bachelor party.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
It was good.
Yeah.
There are some
things,
nits I'd pick at it, but we'll save that for when you watch it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, so it's on my to-do list. That and Solo too. I haven't seen Solo.
Solo was good. Again, I mean, it's not a perfect movie, but so far, favorite movie of the year has been Infinity War.
Infinity Wars.
Yeah,
nice.
You know, just sci-fi, comic, whatever related.
So where do you think we go from here in the Marvel universe? Because you've got Captain Marvel coming, because Sam Jackson,
Nick Fury
paged her.
So there's we've talked about this before, right? Like, depending on how they decide to. So one thing we got confirmed was that Warlock is not in Avengers 4.
Nope, he's not.
So he's not the solution to
He's probably going to be part of Volume 3 of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, so he's not the solution to the Thanos problem.
Nope.
Which was what some of us were anticipating based on the comic.
Yes.
So the two questions remain after you do whatever you're going to do with Thanos. Who's the next big bad? How are you going to set that up? Mm-hmm. And in what state are the characters that remain? Do they exist in? Is it these characters? Is it alternate versions of the characters?
Yeah.
What are we going to have?
Mm-hmm.
Either way, my guess would be that it has to start transitioning into bringing in the Fantastic Four and the X-Men.
Yeah.
Because they are the ones who have the bad guys that are capable of carrying that next mantle.
Yeah.
Because you don't have anybody who can be as threatening as Thanos besides Galactus.
And even at this point now, I don't know if Galactus is good on screen. But
right, because they shit the bed with the shit that they did before. So you have Doom. You
have
have Magneto. Doom. You have Apocalypse. You have directions you can go.
Yeah, but I think Doom would be your...
Yeah, he's it.
Your next bad guy.
Even though they've shit the bed on him twice.
But
Doctor Doom is such a he's such a major character that we'll give however many iterations of Doom it takes to get it right.
We've had 3 Spider-Men.
Yeah.
We're gonna give Doom his due. It'll
Here's another thing they could do if they get all that shit back. They could have a whole movie or a movie or two where Silver Surfer is the bad guy. Kind of like what they tried to do
with Fantastic Four
Part 2 this time.
Yeah.
That also opens you up for some of those other there's a dude called Tyrant that I don't know if they could bring him because they don't shy away from bringing in obscure characters. And he's a dope bad guy.
Well, now the talk is the Eternals are going to be part of the universe too.
Well, yeah, I thought he said that they were doing their own. Yeah,
they're all going to do their own thing, which is kind of crazy. But
have you been watching Cloak and Dagger?
No, on Freeform.
Yeah,
sorry.
Okay. Curious.
I haven't watched any. To be honest with you, I watched the first 2 episodes of Luke Cage's new season, and I liked it, but I got busy. I haven't seen the new season of Jessica Jones.
I did not like Luke Cage.
I have not seen Punisher. I did not
finish, what the fuck?
Yeah, I did not finish The Defenders.
Wait, what the fuck? You haven't watched Punisher?
Yeah, I didn't watch Punisher. Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
Is it good?
Oh my god, Punisher's amazing. The fucking guy, can't because it'll spoil it. But yeah, amazing. Okay. Jessica Jones season 2, I liked it. Mo didn't like it. I liked it. Luke Cage, I did not like. I thought the Jamaican dude that they brought in as the bad guy, or the guy who played the Jamaican dude, whatever, that's the bad guy, awesome. But there was a lot of shit I can get into about like Luke Cage, like the lady who played Maria Hill or Mariah Dillard.
Yeah, her and Shades.
Mariah Dillard. Man, why keep you saying Hill? Mariah Dillard Stokes, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Her relationship with Shades is just, they have no chemistry. It's totally disgusting to look at.
It's because it's an old lady and a young man?
No, because it's just not believable. Okay. Like, because they could have gotten another role. They could have got, like, say, Angela Bassett, and we would have been having a different conversation.
But she's Queen of Wakanda.
Okay, but this lady she dropped like the N-word sometimes, and it just didn't seem natural. There was some funky shit going on with her, like her teeth.
Ugh, weird.
Like they were like big for her mouth.
Okay,
it was just whatever. She sucked, and because of that, like since she dominated so much of the show and she was on screen so often, it really affected the show. Danny Rand's cameo was if you took out that episode or the 2 episodes that he's in, it does not affect the show in any way, shape, or form.
He just stopped by for a quick drink.
Pointless. Like, I thought I'd read going into the season that it was supposed to, like, Heroes for Hire. No. He just showed up and then left, and it meant nothing.
I heard his character in Luke Cage came off better than his Iron Fist character.
Yeah, because he didn't repeat I'm the Immortal Iron Fist 11d5 times. But it didn't matter. He didn't contribute anything positive.
All right.
And his fight choreography still leaves a lot to be desired for. So that's whatever. That's Luke Cage season 2.
Cool.
And that's that, man.
Let's keep moving on our season 2. Our season 2 opener. Black and I, during our hiatus, I won't even call it our hiatus, our summer break, have been texting each other back and forth. And when we're not sending lovely erotic photos to each other, we are debating of ourselves. We are dating, or we're debating.
We are dating.
We are dating. We are debating on certain hot topic issues. And one we found very particular, and we wanted to, kind of bring it to you all and try to get your feedback on it also. So I'm going to let Black open, and then I'm going to interject myself like I always do.
All right. So the whole thing started with the resignation. Actually, no. The whole thing started at driving home from Half's bachelor party.
Yes.
Because we were in the car. It was Half, myself, and his
my
brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And his brother-in-law is Cuban.
Yes.
And for those of you who are from Miami, you know what that means.
No, he's not a Trump supporter.
Close enough.
Okay, so my brother-in-law, who's a great guy.
Listen, Rob, you're my boy. I love you, but that shit pissed me off.
He's got differing points of view. But what was really cool about the ride home was that Black and him were very much going back and forth, but in a way that you don't see on TV.
Yeah, it was respectful, and we were presenting our points intelligently.
What about this and what about that?
And no one got heated. No one took anything personal.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it's what led us to believe that that's what we need in this kind of environment, in this day and age. We need respectful discourse. You need to be able to talk to people and be like, no, I don't like the Jordan 2s. The Jordan 3s were better.
Right.
And instead of that person pulling out a gun and saying, die, because you shouldn't have that opinion and live, they say, man, but the Jordan 3s are better because of this. And then they just have a debate.
Yeah, I'll tell you, when I said that it pissed me off, the one thing that I didn't like, and we talked about this subsequently, I just think that the argument of, well, Obama was doing it too is a lazy argument. And especially considering the platform that Trump ran on and his little slogan about making America great again. So his whole thing was, I'm supposed to be improving things.
Yeah.
So at that point, the argument of, well, he did it too, so it's okay if I do it, is null and void. Because you ran on a platform of you're going to do a better job than the last guy did.
Okay.
So that to me is just a lazy argument that is made to try and bring acceptance to some of the crazy shit that this douchebag is doing. But that's not really what we're here to talk about. As we've had these conversations, continue, one of the big things that happened recently was the resignation of Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy. There's a lot of speculation about some shenanigans about why he's resigned now and the timing of his resignation when November's so close and he could have waited till after. But whatever. Half and I got into, we got into the back and forth, and ultimately what I wanted to chew out here was not so much the pros and the cons and the resignation and all the fucking shady underpinnings that may or may not be going on behind it. But half felt that I don't want to say overreacted, but that I was more of a doom and gloom type of approach or mentality to the news. And I felt that he was not alarmed enough.
Yes.
So that got me to thinking about the state of the country and news and how it's presented and all that shit. So where's the line? Like, what's the line? Where is the border, if you will, between apathy and alarm?
Yeah.
And how do we best approach that? How do we walk that line? And how do you present your argument when you're trying to walk that line and not seem like an alarmist or not seem like you don't give a shit? Because you mentioned, while we were having the discussion, people do want to do all these protests and all that shit, and what they got to do is get out and vote.
Yep.
Right. But I think that part of eventually motivating these people to vote is the sounding the alarm.
It's pushing them to a point that they feel like voting, that they have to vote. And that's been my whole thing. My whole thing is that, listen, and oh my God, if I hear another person tell me, but Hillary won the popular vote, well, that's not the country we live in, and it's all electoral votes, whether that's good or bad, didn't happen that way, right? So people have the opportunity now in 2000.
But what do you mean by, like, what was your point with that?
Well, my whole point was that, listen, I get that she got more votes in densely populated areas, but she didn't get the point. She didn't get the electoral votes where it counted, right?
Sure.
Okay, so
also
that
several of those, not several, but a number of those areas have also been re-corrected because of the gerrymandering that was going on.
And absolutely, besides the point. No, but and you're absolutely right. I would like, instead of nitpicking at little arguments like things like that, I look at it in a really large view, right? If you want to change something, go out there and vote.
Sure.
There are more people living on the coasts, which will normally vote Democratic, than there are living in the middle of the country. If you really wanted to change something, you would go out and you would put your pen to paper. I know it's not a pen and paper anymore, but you'd put your pen to paper and you'd go and you'd do it.
Oh, no, there's no question that apathy played a large role into how we are where we are.
Yeah.
Enough people didn't go out and vote.
Yes.
And it, that may or may not have contributed to the result. We don't know, because you could say the same thing both ways, right? You can say that if more people would have voted, maybe more people would have voted for Trump, whatever the fuck the case may be.
We don't know. It's Maslow's dog, right? Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
No, Maslow. Yeah, Pavlov's is the bell. So you don't know. Look, if you would have had more people vote, maybe Trump would have won the popular vote also. And then
it's not Maslow. It's Schrodinger's cat.
There you go, Schrodinger's cat. What the hell
are
we doing?
What the fuck
are we doing? Yeah, Schrodinger's cat.
In 1935, Erwin Schrödinger, in an attempt to explain the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum physics, he proposed an experiment where a cat is placed in a box with a sealed vial of poison that will break open at a random time. Now, since no one knows when or if the poison has been released, until the box is opened, the cat can be thought of as both alive and dead.
Schrodinger's cat.
This is what happens when you and I try to be too scientific.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right. We wouldn't have known which way it would have gone. But what my general thought process is on a lot of these things is, if you have an issue with it, change it. Now, you'll get the individuals who are like, well, I can't change anything at a higher level. Like, I can't change anything at an executive level or this and that.
Right.
I understand that. But you can change something in your community. So look, I will tell you this. My frustration with individuals that have this very protest, they got a protest itchy finger, right? Like an itchy trigger finger for protesting. What's the new thing to protest now? Is it the EPA? Is it this? Is it that? Is it that? All those are valid. You can absolutely go out there and protest them. But what are you doing in your community to help make your community's lives better. If you're not doing anything and you just want to go out there and wear a silly hat one day and protest, and then you're going back.
Well, some of these people aren't just doing this one day, man. Some of these people are living this shit. Like the Black Lives Matter people were out there days.
Good.
All over the country.
Good.
You know, so I get what you're saying. In a way, my only counter to you in that front is that how does that correlate to the discussion at large about whether or not. So this guy resigned, and I'm like freaking out because
you think everything's going to be taken away. You think gay rights are going to be taken away, abortions are going to be taken away.
Well, their conservatives are going to have a 6-3 majority.
Yes, they will,
in the Supreme Court, which is probably a larger majority than they've had than any one side has had in a while. Because remember, these people serve for life.
Yeah, Clarence Thomas is getting old though.
Yeah. And then that means that, and then you have a political party who's currently in control, who is throwing out statements like abortion will end in our lifetime, things of that nature. So, and the Supreme Court gets to make that ruling. If they decide to revisit Roe v. Wade and overturn it, then you're gonna have.
Well, I don't think they can decide to revisit. It has to come up to them, right?
What? So somebody can bring another case, and then they can.
I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
it's not like they can just open up a book and be like, oh, we want to visit this one.
But if somebody files another case similar to that, they can overturn the precedent,
and then they have to decide if they want to take the case or not.
Right.
Okay.
So, and then they can overturn the precedent that they've set.
But they can also deny the case.
They can, but they will not.
How do you know? Have you gone to the future and checked?
Because
have you lived 14 million outcomes and this is the only one?
You know what? I keep a time gem in the little thing in the case of my phone where I keep my debit cards.
I don't mean to make light of this, but what I'm saying is that we are working ourselves up over something that may or may not happen.
Right.
And here's the thing.
Dude, but that's the same shit that we were talking about 2 years ago when people were like, there's no way Trump gets elected. There's no way Trump gets elected.
Yeah.
And you don't got to worry about that shit. And now here we are, and he got elected, and this shit might happen. So there was a quote I read one time. I was trying to find the fucking person who said it. I think it was Clausewitz, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
And you cannot prepare for an enemy's intention, only their capacity.
Okay.
Which means, are they capable of overturning Roe v. Wade? Yes.
Yes.
So I can't worry about whether they mean to or not. Right now, all we have to worry about is whether they can. And if they get this majority, they can.
Yes,
so, and they can do the same thing with gay marriage. They can set back the legalized marijuana movement. I mean, fucking Canada just did it, for fuck's sake. But whatever. Like, there's a lot of damage
Could they set back women's suffrage?
Yeah, they could if they wanted to.
Okay. Could they set back voting rights?
They could if they wanted to.
Could they set back
fucking Brown versus Board of Education? They can fucking resegregate places. Yeah, they can do a lot of shit. Absolutely.
They could do it all.
They can. They can.
But will they?
We don't know that.
Okay.
But they can. Okay. So it should be of concern that they are in a position where they may be able to do it.
Okay.
It's like, we don't know if North Korea's going to drop a nuke, but we don't want them having nukes that can reach American soil because they might be able to.
Okay.
We don't know if they do it, but they could.
Your wife could also poison your food.
She can.
So what do you do to
and she fucking her? And she almost did once.
What do you do to prevent her from poisoning your food?
Gotta give her that good dick, bro. So that she don't want to.
But what I'm saying is that, like, everyone has intentions to do everything. You can do everything.
Yes.
But will they? Will they? Right? Like, I understand I took an extreme, but still, like, you're not doing anything to prevent that. You're not doing anything to prevent you know.
Sure I do. I wear a seatbelt because some asshole might get in his car and be drunk one day and fucking kill me.
You're absolutely right.
Right? I look both ways when I cross the street. I don't do heroin.
Yeah, no, bad. Heroin's bad. Heroin's really bad.
I delete my search history after I'm done jerking off because I don't want my kids to find that shit.
See, man, that's why you gotta get them their own computer. You just get them your own.
They have their own computer, but you never know. So I delete my search history.
Okay.
So yeah, you prepare for what could happen.
Okay.
Not necessarily knowing that it's going to happen.
Okay.
And again,
but you're being very specific in what you're preparing for.
But dude, they could cause damage to policy in this country that would take decades to undo.
And what happens
because they serve for life.
Okay, that's fine. And what happens when Clarence Thomas retires and one of the other conservative judges retire?
But they're all old as fuck, dude, except for Gorsuch.
Neil Gorsuch's not, and you know who's not? John Roberts isn't that.
Okay, but Ruth
Bader Ginsburg, yeah, she's
is 1,000 years old.
Sonia Sotomayor is she's all right.
She's all right. She got some time.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that you're gonna have the opportunity to change
if you have a if you have the right president in the White House.
Here's the thing: the one that screwed it up was Scalia dying. Right? Scalia dying was the one that messed it all up.
Yeah.
So I think everyone had thought, or just was under the assumption, that if there was a Republican president, Kennedy was going to retire, and if there was a Democratic president, RBG was going to retire, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, right? She was going to retire. That way they knew that their seats would be filled by Democrat or Republican, somebody who's liberal thinking, somebody who's conservative thinking. Which, again, if you want to think about that at a different level, is kind of fucked up in a way, because that means that only the two parties are represented inside the Supreme Court. When really, as we can tell by this last election, there are a lot of other people who have a different style of thought when it comes to how we should policy and what we should be doing in this country. So, if you're thinking about it, right, the Supreme Court, which is not supposed to be political at all, is hyper-political.
Well, yeah, but that's what happens when you allow the president.
Everybody should be moderate in the Supreme Court, yes?
Oh, I agree.
Okay.
Cases should be taken on their merit, not on your personal political leanings.
But if you can prove that it's somebody's personal, isn't that a conflict of interest, and you can get them out of there?
No.
Fuck me! I really thought I found a loophole there.
No.
Okay.
They serve.
I know. I get that they serve. Maybe they have to recuse themselves.
There's got to be there'd have to be a shit ton of evidence of corruption before you can dismiss a Supreme Court justice based on them ruling on what they rule, because that's what you're picking. If you're a conservative-minded president, you're picking a conservative-minded Supreme Court justice to support the policy that you want supported and support that side of it. Now, every so often, one of these scumbags might surprise you, but for the most part, if you know that this guy, when he was a lawyer, right,
and when he was a clerk,
or when he was a judge, if he was a judge previously and he ruled a certain ways on certain cases, you know what you're getting when you put him up there. You know what I mean? So, again, we're talking about, nothing might happen and it might not be so bad.
Yeah. So the whole point was that
but it might be a fucking disaster that could take decades to course correct,
or just one term.
Yeah, whatever. No, I guess it depends on how long these old people decide to kick around for.
But it's not whatever. It's or it could take one term, because he's been able to do this and create this kind of fear in a certain population of people in 2 years, right? Mm-hmm. If he loses the House and Senate, or if he loses one of them, and then people realize that all those tax breaks weren't really for the working people, and then he gets ousted.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, and then he gets ousted. Then what happens? Then you have a Democratic president who's in there who's going to start to change things, right? Yeah. And I might be incorrect, and I don't know this, so I would need your kind of guidance on this. Can't an executive order be written to kind of reverberate some of that stuff?
No. If the Supreme Court declares abortion unconstitutional, it would take from my understanding, you'd have to have a new case brought up to eliminate that precedent, or Congress would have to make a law declaring abortion legal and constitutional in all 50 states.
Okay, all right. And what happens if the Supreme Court refuses to hear the case? Then it goes back to the states, right? The states can decide what they would do because there's no precedent.
No, there is. Roe v. Wade is the precedent.
Okay.
So,
but even with Roe v. Wade, essentially they've made abortion illegal in some states, right?
Well, what they've done is it's the same thing that they did with Dodd-Frank, right? They took the teeth out of Dodd-Frank to prevent the agency, the Consumer Protection Agency, whatever, from enforcing a lot of the shit that they wanted to enforce. right? So that effectively, even though the law existed, it was toothless. It was pointless.
Gotcha.
So now they're doing the same thing. They're just skirting around it by using that fucking bullshit states' rights nonsense that they like to spit out, and
come on, man, let them be
defunding fucking clinics and doing all the shit that they're doing to make it fucking harder. Which, here's whatever. We're not gonna get into.
Yeah,
this.
we're not. We got to stay on top.
I just wanted to throw this question out there for the listeners.
Okay, go ahead.
And for future reference.
Okay.
Why is it anybody's fucking concern? How many kids someone has or decides not to have? I never understood it. I really would like someone to explain it to me.
Okay.
And please do not come at me with the sanctity of life. That better not be your argument. Kids are in cages. Thanks for coming out.
All right.
Kids are getting shot in schools. If you don't like the kids are in cages example.
I'd rather go with that one then.
Okay. Whatever. There you go. At any rate.
Technically, all babies are put in cages. What's a crib?
My kid's never been in a fucking cage in her life.
Your kid's never been in a crib.
The crib didn't have a cell door.
But they couldn't get
out.
A
roof.
Well, what if these are just fences on around them?
Sure.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah. Yeah. So, guys, let me know in the comments, in the email, on our Instagram post, wherever the hell you want. Let me know what you think. Am I way too alarmed? Is halfway too apathetic? I think that at the end of the day, both of us have the same feeling that if you feel like there's things that need to change, you need to be able to go out there, vote, and make that change yourself.
And not only that, get out there and encourage other individuals to get out there and vote. And the problem, or to change, or
and have these conversations with people.
And have this conversation, man. Like, here's the problem: a lot of what you hear is the people who might be on the fence see some of these very extremist
opinions one way or the other, and then they get turned off by the argument.
And they're absolutely turned off because, listen, it's like dating. You've got to come on soft at the beginning. You can't just walk up and be like, "Hey, do you hate the president?"
Right.
Nah, man. You got to come up and be like, "Hey, listen, this is the topic I'd like to discuss. Can we discuss this, or is that something you don't want to talk about first?" You know what I mean? It's an intelligent way to create conversation and to have a respectful discourse with other individuals who don't see eye to eye. Listen, man, there are people who don't see eye to eye with abortion. That there are friends that I know that are like, "No, abortion should be illegal. It's killing somebody." And I'm like, cool, like, I guess that's how you feel, but it doesn't make me hate them as a person because they're not going out there and blowing up abortion clinics, and they're not really doing anything about it because they're apathetic too.
Yeah. So I think apathy ultimately is the biggest danger.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
apathy will kill a republic quicker than anything else.
You need to be informed. You need to have these discussions. Sometimes you need to have the discussions with people you might be uncomfortable having a discussion with.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
When good men do nothing, that's when all the harm gets caused.
Now, we must all fear evil men. But there is another kind of evil which we must fear most, and that is the indifference of good men.
All right, guys. Well, that's been the show for today, for this week, for however the fuck long. I'm just kidding. Our plan is to go, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So we will have another show in 2 weeks.
Yes. Season 2, episode 1 is in the can. Guys, remember, you can always listen to us in your pockets from whether it be Apple Podcast, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Podbean. We're giving up on SoundCloud. Fuck that. And hit us up on Instagram and through the email. I understand that Instagram's messaging has gotten a lot better, so if it's much easier to hit us up on Instagram, do that, okay? If you guys rate us, please rate us. 5 stars if you love us, 5 stars if you hate us. Either one, it doesn't matter. We just need some ratings. We need to move up those ladders, all right? Remember, we are Hall of Fame Kendo broadcasters, okay? We have our jackets up in the Podcasting Hall of Fame. So, guys, thank you for listening. Welcome back to Season 2.
Thank you for your patience. Thank you for sticking with us. We appreciate it.
We look forward to having a lot more discussions with you. And as always, be good, Miami.
Peace out.
See you next time.
And to catch you up on the rundown of what happened while we were out, here's Black.
So we're not going to, I'm Black, he's half, none of that other shit.
Yeah.
Forgot to do the whole show.
Forgot how to do the whole show.